on just a short little video today. It is the 2nd of April and still wet. We had, well, it's ridiculous really. I think the fields now are as wet as they've been all winter. I had a look at the rainfall for sort of this area, and it's like Newquay Airport, and so it's not too far away from where we are, and they recorded 144 millimeters of rain in March, which is another heap of rain. So January, February, March we've had, well, a crazy amount of water. So yeah, so still no spring barley planted, and starting to move on a bit now, the time, and probably going to be too late in a minute. But I had a look, I sort of look at the forecast every day and keep hoping that I'll start to see some dry weather in the forecast. But look this morning, and the BBC forecast, which I sort of look at most probably, that one was showing up to the 15th of April now, and still not really any significant dry weather, certainly not to put spring barley in anyway. We're just off. Well, you'll notice that I'm on the road with the tractor, and I am just off to collect something. So I'll show you what it is when we've got it back home. So I'll record a bit more perhaps of the journey as we go, and yeah, as I say, when I get it home we'll have a good look around what we've bought, and we'll see what you think. Milling some corn again, and there's a bumblebee there. Yeah, so we got you see two different colours there, and the darker stuff is spring barley grain, because it got discoloured with all the wet weather we had last year, and the more golden stuff is the first field of winter barley we harvested last year. So yeah, you see the difference, like the weathering made on it. Right, I'll show you now what we went and collected the other day. Yes, we've had a cake delivery this morning, and that's sort of just in here. This is the lambing, the shed where we had all the lambing pens. So we've put all that back now and tidied it up, and we've got sort of trailers and stuff in here now. And yeah, so U-rolls delivered this morning. They're just in here for a minute until we've milled the corn, and then they'll go back in that shed where we sort of store all the feed. Right, so here is what I collected the other day, and it is a single rotor rake. So I looked at various ones. It's a 3.6 metre, so it's not a very big one, but I thought if we can rake up 2 double rows, or a single row, or even a single row, it's still a bit more than what we were doing with our Lely hay turner or a hay bob type machine. And if we do double rows, it's not hopefully too big for the round baler. So yeah, so it's a Tulex, which is Polish, and I did read in an article from the Farmers Weekly for us quite a few years ago now, but it's this particular make was designed in this country, and the person who designed it had it manufactured in Poland. But it's quite a heavy well built machine. It's got little covers on the tine. It's got foldable tine arms, which I think is quite a good idea, so you don't have to take the tine arms off. It's got a twin axle, which is good. I wasn't really intending buying a rake, and then I saw in one of the advertising papers that we get as the Agricultural Trader that a New Holland dealer had New Holland single rotor rakes for sale at a really sort of good price compared to what I have seen, and they had finance available on them, and sort of quite keen to buy it, and then got sort of looking into it. There was a 3.6 meter one. Admittedly, it did have another tine arm, and but it wasn't as well built as this. It only had a single axle instead of, so that was like 2 wheels to run on instead of 4. This one obviously has got 4 wheels, and it's also got a wheel here on the headstock as well, so that gives it extra sort of ground following capabilities. So yeah, so quite impressed with it really. The New Holland rake was, for the same size rake, it was 405 kilos, and this one is 570 kilos. So it's a lot more steel in it, and I think it looks right. So we'll see what happens in the summer when we get going with it. It's got obviously the crown wheel and pinion here is greasable, and the cam track is oil immersed, which is good. On the New Holland, on this size, on the bigger ones, it was a closed cam track, but I don't really know much about it, but it said it had an open cam track on the New Holland smaller ones. So yeah, so anyway, like I say, it seems like a good machine. Obviously we won't know till we've tried it. Like I say, it's the chap who we bought it from locally had it in stock since last summer, so it's new and unused, but it has been sitting around. He had it in his shed, so yeah, so it's, like I say, we'll get to try it out at some point. So yeah, I quite like the idea of the folding tines. Yeah, so yeah, I think by the time, well, this one was, like I say, we got it for it was a good price. So, and by the time I went and got the New Holland one, I'd have to get my mate to go and collect it with his trailer, and that would have obviously added cost to it. If we'd used the finance deal, there was a startup fee of £120 and a option to purchase fee at the end of another £70, so that added a bit to it. And then this one was advertised for £100 less anyway, and then the chap knocked a couple £100 off it as well, so so it worked out. It was a lot cheaper than the New Holland rake, and I personally think it's probably a better built machine. There's lots of grease points on it. There's grease points on each end of the springs here for holding it in place on, like when you turning. It's got grease points down here as well on the link arm places. Grease points on the axle. The only thing it hasn't got is grease points on the wheel bearings. But yeah, grease point there on that pivot, and grease point there as well. So yeah, so like I say, it's built out of heavy duty steel. I sort of reading that places they break up is around the headstock. So yeah, like I say, it looks alright, and hopefully it'll turn out to be a good machine. So yeah, so I'll do some videos of it when we got it working, but yeah, it won't be for a while yet. And as I say, hopefully it'll speed up the baling, and like the first cuts weren't really a problem anyway, because we had sort of decent rows then anyway, because they were heavy crops. But some of the second cuts, it's just like driving around trying to fill the pickup reel on the baler, and it's just just not easy to make a good bale following a little skinny light row. So hopefully this will be a lot better. Right, so I hope like I say, I hope it's as good as I think it'll be. Anyway, I'm going to go and have a look at the mill, make sure that's running alright, and thanks for watching, and I'll be back with another video soon.